Look at your hands. Examine the calendar on your wall and the exhaustion reflected in your eyes this morning. You are burnt out. You are depleted. And despite all that effort, you are standing in the exact same spot you occupied 365 days ago. Why? It is because you were raised on a sedative. You were fed a noble, toxic myth. From the time you could speak, the world whispered that if you just kept your head down, if you worked harder than everyone else, if you embraced the grind and suffered in silence, the universe would eventually crown you. They lied. The world does not reward the person who carries the heaviest rocks. It rewards the person who owns the mountain. In the history of our species, the hardest workers were never the kings. They were the laborers. They were the ones who stacked the limestone for the pyramids, not the ones immortalized inside them. Right now, you are building a monument to someone else's legacy with your own vital fluids. You can feel it, can't you? That quiet, simmering resentment. That intuition that the game is rigged against you. It is. But Niccolò Machiavelli understood how to rig it back. He knew that true power isn't generated by the friction of hard work. It is generated by the application of leverage. Stop working for a moment and start observing. Everything you've been told is a virtue is actually a bar in your cage. Today, we are going to perform a psychological autopsy on your work ethic. We are going to dismantle the cult of effort and show you why your own ambition is being weaponized to keep you in place. I am going to show you the difference between the beast of burden and the architect of fate. Most people die exhausted, clutching a shovel, waiting for a thank you that will never be uttered. But there is a colder path, a path where you do less and control more, where you stop bleeding for pocket change and start positioning for power. To walk this path, you must be willing to kill the version of yourself that craves approval. You must be willing to be seen as lazy by the masses so you can be feared as a strategist by the elite. The switch is in your mind, and once you flip it, you will never view a hard day's work the same way again. Let's start with the brutal truth about your energy. Society has conditioned you to believe your energy is a cheap, infinite resource. They tell you to leave it all on the field. But have you ever stopped to ask who owns the field? When you leave everything there, you go home empty. You go home as a hollow shell, with nothing left for your own mind, nothing left to plot your escape, and no clarity to observe the terrain. This isn't a glitch in the system, it's the design. A tired man is a predictable man. A frantic population does not revolt. They don't question interest rates, they don't analyze the laws, and they don't look at the social hierarchy and ask, why am I at the bottom? They are too busy trying to survive the week. Machiavelli understood that a leader must maintain a reserve of force. If a prince is exhausted, he becomes prone to error. If he is panicked, he becomes easy to read. Look at the most powerful people in the world. Are they rushing? Are they sweating through their shirts? No. They move with deliberation. They speak with composure. They have leisure. Leisure is not a luxury. It is a weapon of war. Strategy is born in quiet moments. When you are grinding, your chin is tucked to your chest. You are staring at the dirt. You cannot see the knife moving toward your back, and you certainly cannot see the opportunity on the distant horizon. Modern hustle culture is pure propaganda. It is the gladiator convincing the other fighters that dying in the sand is a noble pursuit. It keeps the stadium full for the emperor. You must begin to hoard your energy like gold. Every gram of effort must have a calculated return on investment. If you are working hard just to stay afloat, you aren't working, you are being harvested. Hard work without leverage is simply a slow-motion suicide. Why do you feel a pang of guilt when you sit still? Why does a quiet Sunday afternoon feel like a moral failure? It is because you have been indoctrinated into a morality that equates suffering with goodness. You have been trained to believe that if it hurts, it must be productive. You think that sacrificing your sleep and your sanity makes you noble. This is slave morality. In the ancient world and the Renaissance era, Machiavelli studied, manual labor was not a badge of honor. It was a mark of the powerless. The elite did not brag about their clock-in hours. They bragged about their influence, their patronage, and their ability to move the world with a single signature. Today, we have inverted this logic into a sickness. We see CEOs bragging about 4 hours of sleep and influencers posting photos of hospital beds because they worked themselves into a collapse. It is madness. You are treating your life like a rental car you don't plan on returning. Machiavelli would find this hilarious. He would call it the height of stupidity to destroy the only instrument you possess for the sake of appearances. Pain is not a credential. You cannot walk into a bank and deposit your burnout. You must detach your self-worth from your struggle. You are not valuable because you suffer. You are valuable because of what you control. The system loves a martyr. It loves the employee who stays late for free and the partner who gives everything while asking for nothing. It consumes them, digests them, and replaces them. You are replaceable. If you drop dead at your desk this afternoon, your job opening would be posted before your family could even print your obituary. The machine does not mourn the cog, it just greases a new one. Here is a ruthless lesson from the shadows. If you are too good at the dirty work, you will never be allowed to leave the trenches. Competence is a trap. When you prove you can handle a massive load, do you know what the world does? It gives you a heavier one. It says, look at them, they are strong, they can take more. Because you crave validation, you say yes. You carry the weight of your incompetent manager, your lazy coworkers, and your chaotic social circle. You become the pack mule. Machiavelli advised the wise to let others handle the unpopular or menial tasks. This isn't just about being above work, it's about efficiency. You must master the art of strategic incompetence. There are certain things you should never be good at. Once you master a low-level task, it becomes your identity. If you are the best at fixing the office printer, you will be the printer person for the rest of your career. Frame your skills around high-leverage activities, decision-making, networking, and strategy. Let others compete to be the most useful tool. Tools are used until they are worn down and then thrown away. You want to be the hand that moves the tool. This requires a level of internal arrogance that might feel uncomfortable at first. You have to look at a task and realize it is beneath your potential. If you value your time at zero, the world will happily pay you exactly that. Recall Machiavelli's most famous analogy, the lion and the fox. The lion represents pure force. It is the embodiment of the hard worker. It roars, it fights, and it bleeds. It tries to solve every problem by running headfirst into the wall, hoping the wall breaks first. The fox is different. The fox is physically weaker, but the fox knows where the traps are hidden. The fox doesn't try to break the wall. The fox finds the door. Or better yet, the fox convinces someone else to break the wall for them. You have been trying to be a lion in a world of invisible snares. You are announcing your grind and showing your strength, only to get caught in the traps of office politics, market shifts, and false promises. You need to become the fox. The fox is observant. The fox understands that a straight line is rarely the fastest path to power. The scam of modern life is the belief that output equals outcome, that 100 units of effort will yield 100 units of reward. In reality, you can put in massive effort and get nothing if your direction is wrong. Conversely, you can put in 1 unit of effort, a single strategic phone call, or a key relationship, and get 1,000 units of reward. This is leverage. The goal of your life should be to separate your income and your power from your physical presence and your physical pain. Why are you so addicted to being busy? It's because silence is terrifying. When you stop moving, you are forced to think. You are forced to look at the life you've built and ask if this is all there is. Busyness is an anesthetic. It numbs the existential dread. If you're sprinting at full speed, you don't have time to notice you're running in a circle. we wear our stress like a uniform. We say, "I'm slammed," with a hidden sense of pride, signaling to the tribe that we are important. But being needed is not the same as being powerful. The janitor is needed. The delivery driver is needed. If they stop, the system breaks, but they have no power. The owner can disappear for a month, and the business grows. That is power. When Machiavelli was exiled and tortured, he wasn't busy in the modern sense. He sat in his study, he read, he reflected. In that stillness, he wrote The Prince, a book that has shaped history for 500 years. His greatest contribution came from his stillness, not his labor. If he had spent his days plowing fields to prove he was a hard worker, his name would be forgotten. You are burying your genius under a mountain of emails. You are drowning your potential in a sea of trivial to-do lists. Be the sniper, not the machine gunner. The sniper takes one shot and changes history. Imagine a skyscraper under construction. You see men hanging from steel beams, welding and sweating. They are the builders. They are working incredibly hard. Miles away, in a quiet office, sits a person looking at a blueprint. They aren't bleeding. They are holding a pen. They are the architect. The builders are paid by the hour. The architect is paid by the value of the vision. When the project is over, the builders are laid off. They have to go find another building to bleed on. But the architect's name is the one on the plaque. The lie of hard work is that if you build enough, you will eventually become the architect. You won't. You don't promote your way from carrying bricks to designing cities. They are different mindsets entirely. To become the architect, you must stop identifying with the labor. You must stop taking pride in how heavy the brick is. Most people live by default, following a script written by others. The architect questions the design. They ask, "Why is this wall here? Does it serve me?" Machiavelli teaches us that people, events, and emotions are all raw materials. A strategist takes the chaos of the world and arranges it to his benefit. He doesn't complain that the materials are heavy. He finds a lever. Here is a dark truth of human nature. We do not value what is given freely. If your hard work is always available, always reliable, and always on tap, your value plummets. It's simple inflation. When there is too much of something, it becomes cheap. When there is too much of you, you become cheap. Machiavelli advised the prince to grant benefits little by little so they would be better appreciated. You must learn the power of withholding. Withhold your availability. Withhold your immediate reaction. Withhold your maximum effort until the moment it can change the outcome of the game. This creates mystery and scarcity. When the person who usually works 12 hours a day suddenly leaves at 5 without an explanation, the environment shifts. People begin to wonder. They begin to realize they need you. You reclaim power through absence. If you are always there, predictable as a clock, you become furniture. Hard work makes you invisible. Strategic absence makes you a legend. You must create a gap between what you are capable of doing and what you actually do. That gap is where your freedom lives. If you show your full capacity, that becomes the new baseline, and eventually they will demand even more. Never show your full hand. Always keep a reserve. A dam generates power because it holds back the river. If the dam breaks and the water flows freely, the power is gone. Be the dam. The hardest chain to break is the one you forged yourself. The chain of pride. You are likely proud of how much you struggle. You look at the wealthy or the lucky with a sneer, telling yourself they don't know what real work is. You use your suffering to feel morally superior. This is a coping mechanism. It's a shield to protect your ego from the fact that they are winning and you are losing. Your moral superiority is a consolation prize for the defeated. The elite do not care that you think you're better than them. While you are judging them, they are acquiring your debt. While you are taking pride in your calluses, they are buying your neighborhood. Drop the judgment. Admit that you want an easier life. Admit that you want power and resources without breaking your back. There is no shame in wanting ease. The entire universe follows the path of least resistance. Water flows downhill. Electricity seeks the shortest circuit. Why are you trying to defy the laws of physics? Machiavelli was a realist. He saw the world as it was, not as it should be. The world rewards cunning, timing, and leverage. It punishes blind obedience. You can cling to your moral high ground while you sink into burnout, or you can accept the rules of the game and start playing to win. How do you escape? You can't just quit everything tomorrow. That's the lion acting without the fox. You escape by shifting your allegiance. Right now, your loyalty is to your employer, the system, and your image as a good worker. Shift that loyalty to yourself. Become a double agent. You still go to the office, you still perform the tasks, but you are no longer emotionally invested. You are undercover. You do what is required to maintain your cover, and not a single ounce more. You conserve your energy and observe the power dynamics. You learn how the money moves and who holds the keys. Every day at a job is a paid education if you look at it correctly. Stop working and start studying. How is this business run? How do they manipulate perception? Take their blueprints. Build your own ladder in the dark. The strategist plays the long game. They are willing to look like a failure in the short term to become a king in the long term. Can you handle the lack of applause while you build your exit? Most people can't. That's why they stay in the cage. The cage provides food and safety, but the wild provides freedom. You have spent your life aiming at the wrong target. The target isn't success through effort. It is sovereignty through leverage. Hard work is a tool, a hammer. You use it when you need to drive a nail, and then you put it down. If you carry a hammer everywhere, you look like a fool searching for something to destroy. The era of the loyal worker is over. We are entering the era of the sovereign individual. The survivors won't be the ones who type the fastest or lift the heaviest boxes. The machines and the AI will handle that. The survivors will be the ones who can think, perceive reality without fear, and direct energy rather than just supplying it. You are now awake to the scam. You can see the strings and the puppet masters. Do not let the anger you feel right now evaporate. But don't use it to scream. Use it as fuel. Cold, calculated rage is a powerful engine. Let it drive you to plot and build. You are finished being a beast of burden. You are ready to become the architect. But be warned, the moment you stop grinding, the system will attack. It will try to make you feel guilty, lazy, and small. It will try to pull you back into the rhythm of the machine. This is your final test. If you can withstand the pressure to conform and stand in the stillness without breaking, you will see the path to the throne. If this has opened your eyes, realize that this is only the surface of the landscape. There are aspects of dark psychology and strategic power that are too potent for the general public. For those who are ready to stop being cogs and start being architects, there is more depth to explore. Thank you for your time. Your journey out of the trenches begins the moment you decide your sweat is too valuable to be wasted.